The end of the Clone Wars and the execution of Order 66 resulted in the near extinction of the Jedi Order, but not all Jedi fatalities in the war were due to the clones' hidden kill switch. The Clone Wars lasted 3 years, and during that time, many a Jedi fell on the battlefield defending the Republic against Separatist attack. These heroes are often forgotten in the aftermath of Order 66, so in today's video, we'll look at 6 Jedi who died too soon on the battlefields of the Clone Wars.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
The first Jedi we'll talk about today are Master Halsey and his Padawan Knox. Master Halsey was a Runan with grey skin and blue eyes. His Padawan, a young Nautilin, accompanied him on his various assignments during the Clone Wars. A year or so into the conflict with the CIS, the two were stationed on the jungle planet of Deveron, where the Republic was committed to defending the Jedi Temple of Edict. With them was Clone Commander Trauma and a legion of clone troopers. Initially, the Temple's defense was holding, with the clones fending off the Separatist droid army. However, halfway through the battle, Count Dooku's new apprentice, Savage Opress, joined the fray and single-handedly turned the tide of the battle in the Separatist' favor. When Opress slaughtered his way to the temple doors, only the 2 Jedi stood in his way. Halsey ordered his Padawan to stay back, but the Zabrak was far too powerful for him. During the lightsaber duel, Opress grabbed his hand and disarmed him. In hand-to-hand combat, Halsey stood no chance. The Zabrak stabbed him through with his spear. Devastated by his master's murder, the young Knox charged the Zabrak, but Opress forced through him into the temple wall with enough power to kill him instantly. When their bodies were recovered, the Jedi Council surveyed the damage they had sustained and concluded that, given the evidence, this could only mean the rise of a new Sith Lord. The deaths were particularly brutal and very similar to the work of former Separatist assassin Asajj Ventress. These 2 Jedi may have been forgettable background characters, but their deaths heralded a new era of trouble for the Jedi Order. The same could be said for the next Jedi on our list. A few Clone Wars deaths were perhaps more pivotal or more memorable than Master Tiplar's. She was a yellow-skinned Mickey-and Jedi Master who served with her twin sister, Tiplee, during the Clone Wars. Together with her sister, they led a unit of clone troopers under Clone Commander Doom. One battle they engaged in was the Battle of Ring Govinda, which was a joint operation between their unit and General Skywalker's 501st Legion. During the campaign, Tiplar was unexpectedly murdered on the battlefield at the hands of Tup, a clone trooper from the 501st Legion. In the middle of battle, the trooper turned and strode over to her, shooting her in the face and murmuring, "Good soldiers follow orders." Many fans will remember this as the premature execution of Order 66, which is why Tiplar's death is so important. Her death led to Fives, another trooper, investigating the circumstances behind Tup's irrational actions and uncovering the entire conspiracy behind the clones' inhibitor chips, their dormant orders, and even Chancellor Palpatine's involvement. Although he did his best to shed light on the conspiracy, he was killed before he could convince others. Still, his accusations took root in the minds of some and later saved several clone troopers, including Rex, from the inhibitor chip's complete control. In the end, nothing changed, but Tiplar's death will forever be the pivotal moment that could have altered the course of Star Wars history forever. Adi Gallia, the next Jedi on our list, was a Tholithean Jedi Master who also had a seat on the Order's High Council in the final years of the Republic. She was born to a high-ranking Corellian family and raised by the Jedi. Fans may remember her as the council member who voted against accepting Anakin Skywalker into the Jedi Order when Qui-Gon Jinn presented his case. Although she was best known for her skills in diplomacy, this didn't stop her from serving in many battles as a Jedi General during the Clone Wars. Some notable battles she was in were the Battle of Saleucami, the Battle of Lola Seiyu, and the mission to Bray. After the massacre on Deveron that we mentioned just earlier, she was part of the Jedi group that assessed the fallen Jedi's bodies and concluded a new Sith Lord was among the ranks of their enemies. On many of her missions, she dueled Sith head-on and managed to escape with her life, but her luck ran out eventually. Halfway through the Clone Wars, she and Obi-Wan Kenobi undertook a mission to track down Darth Maul and his brother, Savage Opress, who were on a rampage through the Outer Rim. Together, she and Kenobi traveled to a space station in the Cyblock system that was sending out a distress signal Gallia believed to be caused by the brothers' latest rampage. According to the station's supervisor, the two Zabrak had indeed raided them and left on a stolen cargo vessel bound for the planet Florum in the Surtar sector. Once they had landed, Gallia located the stolen ship and hypothesized that the brothers had sold the cargo to the local pirates. Kenobi, however, was acquainted with the local pirate leader, Hondo Ohnaka, and didn't believe he would ally himself with the Sith. He contacted Ohnaka, who confirmed that Maul was poaching his underlings and requested the two Jedi's help. Meanwhile, the brothers raided Ohnaka's stronghold. When they noticed the Jedi landing nearby, they diverted their attention there, and a lightsaber duel broke out. During the fight, Gallia and Kenobi were separated and forced to take them on separately, leaving the Thalothian with the far larger and more aggressive Oppress. Using her superior speed and agility, she maneuvered around him well and landed a knee strike that would have crippled a normal foe. The huge Zabrak, however, didn't even flinch. Using her surprise to his advantage, he slammed her into a ship with the Force, then rammed her in the stomach with his head, goring her with his horns. This was already a mortal wound, but he ended her quickly with a saber strike to ensure the Jedi Master couldn't use her dying breath to interfere further. In a fit of rage, Kenobi attacked Oppress, but the fight wasn't easy. Eventually, thanks to the help of Ohnaka's reunified pirate forces, they were able to force the Sith into a hasty retreat. That wouldn't bring back the fallen Jedi though. Undoubtedly, Master Gallia didn't deserve her fate, but death is a risk one must always be prepared to take when stepping out onto the battlefield. The next Jedi we'll talk about knew that risk all too well, and he embraced it with the grace all Jedi should aspire to have. Master Ima-Gun was a Nikto Jedi general that must have had one of the most iconic deaths during the Clone Wars. In 22 BBY, he was sent to the planet Ryloth with a legion of clone troopers to help the Twi'lek resistance against a separatist invasion. Their combined forces fought bravely, but the droid army overwhelmed them with sheer numbers. The separatists encircled the planet with a blockade that prevented any further supplies or reinforcements from reaching the planet-side combatants, which is when Master D and the Twi'lek situation turned dire. Charm Syndulla, the leader of the resistance, informed D and clone captain Keeley that their food and energy supplies had almost run out. D called Admiral Dow, who was still in orbit aboard his Venator-class Star Destroyer, and requested emergency aid. Dow, however, was also low on fuel and ammunition and couldn't take on the separatist blockade. The Admiral contacted the Jedi Order for help, but during the holocall, his ship was destroyed. He had been the planet-side fighters' last hope for support. Now alone, the Republic forces were gradually pushed back. Their right flank collapsed under the droids' attacks. Still, Master D believed help would come, even if the Twi'leks had no faith in the Republic. Syndulla wanted to withdraw his people, but the Jedi explained that, with their flank defenseless, none of them could escape. It was fight or die, and under the circumstances, likely both. The Twi'lek leader did not share his confidence in the Republic and gave orders to evacuate regardless. However, they soon discovered that the single LAAT they had couldn't transport all of their people. Master D came up with the alternative plan of turning their lone transport into a bomb. With it, they could detonate and close off one of the two mountain passes that led to their position, which would then funnel the separatist forces into a single narrow ravine. D promised that he and the clones would hold the narrow pass a la 300 while the Twi'leks made their escape. When the bomb did its job, the Jedi and his clones stood alone to defend the remaining pass. The fight was brutal. Clone after clone fell, and even the Jedi Master took a blaster bolt to the stomach. He fought on, however, long enough for 3 Republic frigates to contact him and let him know they had made it through the blockade and were bringing supplies to the Twi'leks. This brought the old Jedi comfort in his final moments. Though he would die, his sacrifice had ensured the people of Ryloth would live to see another day, and that was enough for him. Thanks to his sacrifice, Syndulla and his forces continued the fight for another year. The Battle of Ryloth was long, but it eventually resulted in a Republic victory. And finally, the last Jedi we'll talk about today was Master Pong Krell, who died too soon on the battlefield of Umbara, betrayed by the despicable clones under his command. Nah, put down the pitchforks, we're just joking. The last Jedi we're actually talking about is Master Tiplar's twin sister, Master Tiplee, who survived the Battle of Ringo Vinda that claimed her sister's life and went on to be a veritable badass. Devastated by her twin's murder, Tiplee channeled her grief into increasing her aggression and power output on the battlefield. Later in the war, she was part of a mission to Ord Mantell alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu and Aayla Secura. Their objective was to investigate the aftermath of a battle between Darth Maul's Shadow Collective and the CIS's forces. Judging by the scene of the battle, the Jedi inferred that Maul had taken Count Dooku and General Grievous captive, likely to the nearby Mandalorian supply outpost known as Vizsla Keep 09. Tiplee and Kenobi took point on a strike team to the outpost. As they were making their approach, however, Mandalorian gauntlet fighters that belonged to the Death Watch, the warrior group currently ruling the planet of Mandalore, and a member of the Shadow Collective, swooped in to attack. The Jedi fought their assault off and broke through, but were not prepared for what awaited them on the outpost. Maul and Dooku, now allies. A lightsaber duel broke out between the four of them, though Windu and Secura didn't take long to join them. Even with the numbers in their favor, the duel was fast and very, very deadly. In the flurry of blows on all sides, Dooku force-pulled Tiplee onto his saber, impaling her through the chest and killing her instantly. The Death Watch fighters incapacitated Windu and Secura, leaving Kenobi to cradle Tiplee's lifeless body in his arms while the two Sith Lords and their forces escaped. What do you think? Was it better for these Jedi to die an honorable death on the battlefield, or would it have been better for them to just live a little longer, even if that meant being killed during Order 66 at the hands of their clone trooper allies? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.